We are soldiers. Through millennia of struggle, the light has shown us the true path. And in turn, we have been reborn as instruments of its power. You are Lightforged. You must stand as a beacon of hope against the darkness. But to those who would threaten this world or attack our allies, you will embody the light's wrath.
Hello, it is Queen! And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Lightforged Draenei and give you some roleplay suggestions. This is just a basic guide to the Lightforged Draenei. You can roleplay however you wish. First, let's take a look at the lore. The Lightforged were originally the group of Draenei that Valen took with him on the Naru vessel, the Genedar, when they evacuated Argus to escape from the Legion.
I will hunt you across the stars, traitor! Even if it takes 1,000 years!
The Genedar eventually split into two different ships, one called the Zenedar, and the other still being called the Genedar. And each ship went their separate ways. The Genedar Draenei were focused on finding a new home and preserving the Draenei people, while the Zenedar formed the Army of the Light and fought back against the Legion. For 1,000 years, the Army of the Light fought the Legion in the Twisting Nether. In order to become Lightforged, the Army of the Light soldiers must endure trials, proving that the light shines brightly within their hearts. The ritual of the Lightforged is the final step in becoming Lightforged, or in other words, becoming the embodiment of a light's wrath.
Bring me the injured. I shall heal their wounds and purge this filth with a single prayer.
Let's see what Captain Faria has to say about this.
My fellow soldiers, the trials you have endured are proof that the light shines bright within your hearts. One final test remains, and it is the most daunting of all. It will force you to peer into the very core of what you are, of what you believe yourself to be. Many worthy Draenei have undergone this trial, only to return broken, or worse. Should you feel the slightest doubt, turn back now. It will be counted as wisdom, not cowardice. But if you are truly ready, step forward and embrace your fate.
It is not an easy feat to become Lightforged, but those that do are greatly rewarded. Since the Burning Legion is defeated, it is now your job to get to know the people of Azeroth and explore her new lands. Let's take a look at the classes you can play as a Lightforged Draenei. What is interesting is that every playable class is displayed as NPCs on Argus. First off, we have Warriors. Warriors are plate-wearing fighters who strive for perfection in armed combat. This class is the muscle of the light. Warriors are the most physically strong class that does not use magic. On Argus, warriors are called Lightforged Dragoons. Next up, we have the Paladins. Paladins are heavily armored fighters and defenders who use holy magic to heal wounds and combat evil, making Paladins a very popular choice. On Argus, Paladins are called Lightforged Bulwarks. And now we have the Hunters. Hunters are at home in the wilderness and have a special affinity for beasts. On Argus, Hunters are called Lightforged Sharpshooters, and are not seen as hunters with pets, but more so archers with holy arrows. And here we have the Priest. Priests are well-rounded healers with a variety of tools, another popular class choice. On Argus, priests are called War Priests. They can be seen healing allies as well as destroying demons with holy magic. And lastly, the Mage. Draenei naturally are already a wise and magically advanced race, so it only makes sense for them to have the ability to become mages. Mages make up for their light armor with a potent array of defensive and offensive spells. On Argus, mages are called Lightforged battle mages. It's interesting that on Argus they only ever seem to use arcane magic. Alright, I know what you're thinking, but why can't I be a shaman? The other Draenei can. The answer is simple. Shamans were not a thing before the crash of the Exodar. Nabundo was the first quote-unquote Draenei shaman. He became broken after being exposed to Fel Mist on Draenor during the fall of Shattrath City. Because of this, he lost his ability to communicate with the light. He prayed and prayed, but the light never answered his prayers. He waited decades until he heard the call of the elements and became the first Draenei shaman. There are Draenei shamans on Azeroth due to Nabundo's teachings. Back then, it was not seen as a positive thing. You would most likely be outcast, especially if you were broken due to fear of contagion. Now, in current times, it is seen as an alternative to the light. So, unfortunately, Lightforged cannot be shamans, because shamanism in the Draenei did not exist on the Zenithar, and they would most likely lose the ability to commune with the light, the very core of what the Lightforged are. It is impossible to be Lightforged and a shaman due to this. Alrighty, now here's some roleplay guidelines. Remember that these are just general guidelines and rules. You can roleplay your character however you like. Keep in mind that every roleplay server is different. Where one is forgiving and flexible, the other may not be. All Draenei, and especially the Lightforged Draenei, worship the light. No ifs, ands, or buts. You are from Argus. You must be a member of the Army of the Light to become Lightforged. I can see where it may be possible to have been a Draenei who crashed on Azeroth becoming a Lightforged. It is not stated how many trials you have to endure or how long it takes to become a Lightforged. Be creative when creating a story. Make it fit with the lore. Make it believable. Though the Draenei are in fact corruptible, it would be near impossible for Lightforged to become corrupted without extreme force. You are Light's chosen. When it comes to leaving the Army of the Light or becoming corrupted willingly, it is highly unlikely that you would throw everything away after working so hard to become Lightforged. After all, you did spend 1,000 years fighting off demons, though that would make for a good Light versus Void corruption story if you could pull it off. If you are from Argus, this makes you around 25,000 years old. There is a lot of debate about how old the Draenei actually are, but this is a number I see often. Draenei age incredibly slow and are immortal. You cannot be born on Azeroth and be an adult, or on the other hand, be born on Argus and still be a teenager. If you don't want to give a number, just use terms like adult, or ancient if you're feeling fancy. Now, I know some of you are probably going to be upset with me, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Lightforged do not use shadow/void magic. This means it's probably not a good idea to roleplay as a shadow priest. If you are hell-bent on roleplaying as a shadow priest, you could probably get away with replacing your shadow magic with soul magic or spirit magic, as seen with the priest at the Alkindune using soul magic to commune with and soothe the dead, as long as you're not raising the dead. Draenei aren't all goody two-shoes personality types either. Draenei do and should have flaws. Draenei have all types of personalities. Just think of Tepartos and how strange he is. How does your character feel after fighting the Legion for so long? What is your character's favorite thing to do in their downtime? Are they excited to explore Azeroth? Do they still have family left? Are they social? All these things seem irrelevant in the beginning, but it makes for a strong personality base. Not to mention a good backstory. You can totally stick to stereotypes, such as warriors and paladins may be very judgmental due to years of being on guard and defending their people. Priests may be compassionate and caring, or you can switch it up and make your priest the most inappropriate person on the planet. You're in control, you can decide. Both the Lightforged and the Draenei as a whole have persevered through many unimaginable hardships. There isn't really that much of a difference between Draenei and Lightforged apart from the in-game models, where they come from, and being the ones that split off from the others becoming members of the Army of the Light. Hopefully, in Battle for Azeroth, we can get some more in-depth information about the Lightforged Draenei. Thank you for watching my Lightforged Draenei guide. If you have anything else to add, please feel free to comment below. And also, if you liked this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you have not. Also, please check out my description. It's got my Discord channel in it, and my stream schedule. Because if you'd like to meet me, I'd love to meet you. Hope we get to see each other soon. And have fun role-playing. See ya on Moonguard. Love y'all. Bye.